I just got to tell you this. This little story. I did a movie which nobody really saw called Illegal Tender. And somebody saw it. All right, so that's a first. Here's the story behind that movie. So a couple years ago, I got a call from the manager, whatever. He's like, look, this dude wants you to be in this movie. It's this Puerto Rican gangster movie. He wants you to play this guy, Cesar. He's a hitman. And I'm like, I'm Jewish. And he's like, don't worry about it. You don't say anything. You just shoot people and rob bodegas and do all this shit, right? So I'm like, I'm doing it. You know, it's 3 weeks on this movie. So I show up the first week, and it's a little awkward because everybody's Puerto Rican. And, you know, I don't know what's going on. And one of the guys, one of the main guys, Manny, gets everybody in a huddle, and he's like, look, there's not a lot of opportunity for Latino actors because the Jews control Hollywood. And I'm sitting there like, see, that's fucked up. See. And the week goes by, and I'm getting more and more, like, I'm not saying anything, and people are getting kind of irritated with, like, why doesn't Cesar say anything? And other people are like, well, because Cesar's a method actor, you know, his character. And then some people are like, maybe Cesar thinks he's from Argentina or some shit. You know, it's like this whole... And I'm having nightmares, like that I'm in Puerto Rican court, you know, and, you know, bringing these Cesar... So I call my cousin, he's married to a Colombian. I'm like, dude, I need some words, you know? And he's like, I don't know, say mira, mira, everybody looks that way, go that way. Cesar salad. So the next week, it's just long weeks. The next week happens, and I'm chilling there with this girl, I forget her name, but everything was mad. Like, yo, that's mad stupid, or yo, this is mad delicious. And then she goes, because it was the summer, she's like, yo, it's mad hot, like one of those Holocaust saunas. And I was trying to explain that wasn't really a sauna situation, you know. It's like, oh, the Jews are so tense, exfoliates her face, you know. She like a massage and some cucumber ice slices. But she got mad, and you know, so that didn't work out too well. All right. So the last week, we're going to Puerto Rico. I've never been there. So I'm like, I gotta find out stuff about Puerto Rico. You know, because I feel like Anne Frank in a fucking attic, you know, that I'm gonna get outed at any minute. You know, so I get on YouTube, and there's you know, there's an old Raul Julia commercial, and the Puerto Rico drink the rum, the chica grande teta, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be fantastic, you know. Well, wherever that was at, that's not where we were, you know. The plane lands, this little Scooby-Doo bus takes us out to the project somewhere. And literally, there are people hanging out by the set that have nothing to do with the movie, like circling to rob shit. Like, there's a dude with a baby carriage with no baby in it. It's got ice and beers and Lucy cigarettes, and across the top is laid a prosthetic leg with a flip-flop on it. I believe a chocleta. And I'm looking at this, like, collection of shit, and I'm like, what is, you know, and I guess everything's for sale, but who leaves the house without their fucking leg? I mean, that's a tough sell. I'm like, what is that leg for? And then I see some other guy come over and try and take one of the beers without paying for it. Dude takes the leg, starts fucking him up, you know? I'm like, that would be a great commercial for Puerto Rico, you know? Welcome, don't touch the leg. So I'm there, and I'm chilling out with this guy, Manny, who I told you about. Me and Manny are getting along pretty well, and Manny confides in me because there's a gay makeup artist, and Manny is homophobic to a degree. And Manny's like, you know, the makeup artist, he always want to put, you know, the makeup on my face, you know, and I don't want it, you know. No, you need the makeup, I don't want it, you know, and I think this guy wants my dick, and I don't go that way, you know. And he's like, but he is Latino, and I am Latino, and you are Latino, and that's all that matters. I'm like, dude, man, I gotta tell you something. I'm not Puerto Rican. He's like, no, not even a little bit. I'm like, no. And he's like, because you look more Puerto Rican than anybody in this movie. And I'm like, see? And then it's quiet for a minute, and he's like, I'm not Puerto Rican either. He's like, no, I'm Dominican, but don't tell anybody because... And that is the illegal tender story, everybody. That is the illegal tender story.